So you're trying to protect your heart. You're watching what you eat. You're exercising more, and maybe you've even cut back on salt. You're doing all the things we've been told to do for decades. But what if the biggest breakthroughs in heart health have nothing to do with what's on your plate or how many miles you run? What if the real game changers are the things you do when you're not even thinking about your heart? The American Heart Association recently updated its official checklist for cardiovascular health for the first time in over a decade, and they added a new critical factor that most people completely ignore. In this video, we'll reveal the 2 simple, powerful lifestyle tweaks backed by cardiologists that are the real game changers for your cardiovascular system. And the truth is, they have almost nothing to do with the gym or the kitchen. Section 1, the invisible wall. Let's be honest. It can be incredibly frustrating. You read the articles, buy the healthy food, and schedule the workouts. But maybe your blood pressure is still stubbornly high. Maybe your doctor is still giving you the side eye about your cholesterol. You feel like you're doing everything right, but you've slammed into an invisible wall. Why? It's because we've only been taught to focus on 2 parts of a 4-part equation. Diet and exercise are critical, don't get me wrong, but they are not the whole story. There are 2 other forces at play, working silently in the background. These forces can either supercharge all your healthy efforts, making them work 10 times better, or they can completely undermine them, making you feel like you're running in sand. These 2 forces are stress and sleep. They are not nice to haves. They are not luxuries. According to a growing mountain of clinical research, they are biological necessities for a healthy heart. Neglecting them is like trying to build a strong house on a crumbling foundation. No matter how perfect the walls are, the whole structure is at risk. Now we're going to break down exactly why these 2 factors hold so much power over your heart, and then give you simple, actionable strategies to turn them from your biggest weaknesses into your greatest strength. Section 2, game changer number 1, mastering your stress response. Everyone gets stressed. A deadline at work, a family argument, rush hour traffic. But what cardiologists are most concerned with isn't that sharp, in-the-moment stress. It's that low-grade chronic stress that just simmers day after day. Think of it like a car alarm that's stuck on. At first, it's loud and alarming, but after a while, you almost stop noticing it's there. But the battery is still being drained, and the entire neighborhood is still being disturbed. That's what chronic stress does to your body. It keeps you in a constant low-level state of fight or flight. This state was designed to save you from, say, a tiger, but it was never meant to be left on 24/7. When this system is constantly activated, your body is flooded with hormones like adrenaline and cortisol. These hormones tell your heart to beat faster and your blood vessels to tighten up, which drives up your blood pressure. They also trigger widespread inflammation, which is now understood to be a major cause of atherosclerosis, the hardening and clogging of your arteries. Even worse, chronic stress pushes us towards the very behaviors that wreck our hearts. When you're stressed, you don't crave a salad. You crave high-fat, high-sugar comfort foods. You're less likely to have the energy or motivation to exercise. You might drink more alcohol or reach for a cigarette to calm your nerves. It's a vicious cycle. Stress damages your heart directly through hormones and inflammation, and indirectly by sabotaging your healthy habits. So how do you finally turn off that alarm? You can't eliminate all stress. That's impossible. The goal is to get better at switching off the response. Here are 3 simple doctor-approved ways to do it. First, practice active relaxation. This doesn't mean you need an hour of silent meditation. It can be just 5 minutes. Find a quiet spot, close your eyes, and just focus on your breath. Inhale through your nose for a count of 4, hold for 4, and then exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 6. This technique, sometimes called box breathing or a psychological sigh, actively stimulates the vagus nerve, which is the literal off switch for your fight or flight response. Doing this just a few times a day can help lower your resting heart rate and blood pressure. Second, use physical activity as a pressure release valve. We often think of exercise for weight management, but one of its most powerful benefits is stress reduction. When your body is swimming in stress hormones, physical activity is exactly what it's screaming for. It's the fight or flight your system is primed for. It burns off the excess cortisol and releases endorphins, which are natural mood elevators. You don't need to run a marathon. One study found that even just 4 minutes of vigorous activity per day could dramatically improve cardiovascular health. Take the stairs, do a quick set of jumping jacks, or have a 10-minute dance party in your living room. The goal is to move your body and release that stored tension. Third, build your social buffer. Human connection is one of the most powerful anti-stress tools we have. Talking with a trusted friend, family member, or therapist about your stressors can fundamentally change your brain's response to them. It provides perspective and emotional support, which helps deactivate the amygdala, the brain's fear center. Make it a point to connect with someone you trust in a meaningful way at least a few times a week. If this is already making sense and you're ready to stop hitting that invisible wall, do me a favor and subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell. Our whole goal is to break down the science of health into simple, practical steps you can actually use to change your life. Section 3, Game Changer number 2. Prioritizing your sleep. Now that we get the impact of stress, let's talk about the second pillar, sleep. For years, sleep was treated like a passive activity, a luxury for people who had extra time. But the science is now crystal clear. In 2022, the American Heart Association officially added healthy sleep to its Life's Essential 8 for optimal heart health. They put it on the same level of importance as blood pressure, cholesterol, and diet. This was a huge deal, signaling to the world that sleep is not negotiable for your heart. Here's why. While you're sleeping, your body is doing critical repair work. Your heart rate and blood pressure naturally dip, giving your heart and blood vessels a much-needed break. Your body works to repair cells, consolidate memories, and most importantly, regulate the hormones that control everything from appetite to, you guessed it, stress. When you consistently get less than the recommended 7 to 9 hours, that entire repair process gets short-circuited. Your blood pressure doesn't get that nightly dip, so it stays elevated for longer, straining your arteries. Your body pumps out more cortisol, the stress hormone we just talked about. Inflammation markers go up. Your blood sugar control gets worse, increasing your risk for type 2 diabetes. Over time, chronic sleep deprivation is directly linked to a higher risk of high blood pressure, heart attack, and stroke. And poor sleep and stress, they're locked in a destructive dance. Stress keeps you from falling and staying asleep, and a lack of sleep makes your body far less resilient to stress the next day. You become more irritable, your judgment gets cloudy, and you're more likely to have that hair trigger response to minor annoyances. Breaking this cycle is everything. So how do you reclaim your sleep? It starts with treating sleep with the same respect you give your diet or your job. Here are the 3 most impactful strategies. First, and this is a big one, consistency is king. Go to bed and wake up at the same time every single day, even on weekends. This is the single most effective thing you can do. It anchors your body's internal clock or circadian rhythm. When your body knows when to expect sleep, it starts releasing melatonin and lowering your body temperature at the right time, making it way easier to fall asleep and stay asleep. Studies have shown that even small irregularities in your sleep schedule can increase your risk for cardiovascular problems. Second, engineer your environment. Your brain takes cues from your surroundings. Your bedroom needs to be a sanctuary for sleep, not an extension of your office or movie theater. This means making it as cool, dark, and quiet as possible. Use blackout curtains or an eye mask. Use a fan or a white noise machine to drown out noise. The ideal temperature for sleep is surprisingly cool, around 65 degrees Fahrenheit or 18 degrees Celsius. And third, create a wind down ritual. You can't go from 100 miles per hour to 0 in 5 minutes flat. Your brain needs a transition. For the last 30 to 60 minutes before bed, put away all screens. That blue light from phones, tablets, and TVs actively blocks melatonin production. Instead, do something relaxing. Read a physical book. Listen to calm music or a podcast. Take a warm bath, which can trigger a drop in body temperature that encourages sleep. And it goes without saying, but avoid caffeine after 2 p.m. and limit alcohol in the evening, as it can destroy your sleep quality later in the night. For years, the conversation around heart health has been dominated by 2 words, diet and exercise. And while they are undisputed cornerstones, they are not the entire foundation. The truth is that the most profound and simple changes you can make for your cardiovascular system might just happen while you're laying down or sitting quietly. Mastering your stress response and prioritizing your sleep are the real game changers. By learning to actively turn off your body's alarm system through relaxation, movement, and connection, you take direct control over your blood pressure and inflammation. And by treating your 7 to 9 hours of sleep as a non-negotiable medical appointment, you give your heart the time it needs to rest and repair every single night. This isn't just feel-good advice. This is a new, more complete understanding of how the human body works. You are a whole system. Your mental state and your sleep patterns are just as important as the food you eat and the steps you take. Disclaimer: the information provided regarding health benefits is for informational purposes only and should not be considered medical advice. Always consult a healthcare professional before starting any new health regimen, treatment, or if you have any questions regarding a medical condition. Individual results may vary, and the effectiveness of health benefits can differ based on personal circumstances. The content is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Start small. Pick one strategy from this video to focus on this week. Maybe it's a 5-minute breathing exercise at lunch. Maybe it's just setting a consistent bedtime. You have the power to make these changes. Please talk to your doctor about this, especially if you think you might have a sleep disorder like sleep apnea. And finally, if this was helpful, share this video with someone you care about. Your parents, your partner, your best friend. Because this truth is simple, powerful, and it could be the key to a longer, healthier life. Please check out our other videos on heart health and well-being. Thank you for watching.